Crossing Road, Jamestown, New Mexico. You can Google it. Look how big a facility this truck stop is. Out of diesel fuel. Luckily, we had stopped and filled up about 180 miles back east. Stopped in there to take my break, get coffee. Place stays busy 24/7. Stays busy 24/7. So, I'm pulling in, I got the radio on, the CB, and the guy says, they're out of fuel, y'all. So I keyed old Mike up, I said, driver, what'd you say? They out of fuel? He said, yep, they out of fuel. I said, well, it's a good thing we filled up. Right at 200 miles back east of here. I said, I reckon this is the start of the thing. We as truck drivers is kind of left to fend for ourselves out here, y'all. Now, if you'll Google this location, there's a refinery in the backyard. Now, when I say a refinery, I'm not talking about no mom and pop's refinery. I'm talking about a refinery. This is where they get their diesel fuel from. They got a little truck that runs from parking lot out there to the refinery and back to the parking lot. They were allocated one load of fuel for an 8-hour period. And don't know when they're going to get allocated anymore. Now we're talking about a pilot Flying J, one of the biggest diesel fuel producers, sellers, retailers in the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me tell you something. This is only the beginning. I suggest that you stockpile what you think you're going to need to last for 60 to 90 days. Have that much food on hand. It's coming. This is their way of resetting our world as we know it. That way we have to play by their rules. We elected. Well, no, I didn't elect them. I elected some of them, but not the knucklehead that started all this when it closed that. If that pipeline had never been shut down, we wouldn't be having the shortages right now. They ain't got no oil to refine at the refinery. Gas prices, according to what the driver of the second or third pilot truck that's sitting there can't leave the parking lot because he ain't got nowhere to go get no fuel. They're telling him $6 to $7 a gallon by the end of this year. Now, I say that to say this. I don't know how, and I don't know when, but we are headed for, you had to excuse me, that truck beeping. The truck ahead of me riding, it breaks down the hill. We're headed for something equivalent to the Great Depression, but the only difference between this depression and that depression is them folks knew how to garden and knew how to can and how to cook. And, cook stuff and can it, put it up. They made a crop. They lived. They might have eaten one jar of vegetables between 5 folks with a half a some rice or beans, but they made it. But folks, I'm here to tell you, people on this, in this generation of the millennials, and the millennials is even outdated now. I call them generation neutral, because hell, half of them don't know what's going on, which, you know, which YouTube will probably strike me, but which facility they go to. They don't know how to garden, they don't know how to fish, they don't know how to hunt. Excuse me. It's disappointing. And excuse me, I was out in that night air walking the dog. Plus one of them jalapenos, one of them hot dogs I got was jalapeno. I told them they're regular. I reckon the jalapeno got mixed over in there. They ought to put a green stick in that jalapeno so they'll know the difference. But yeah, out of fuel, and they got power, they got running water, they got hot showers, but you can bathe all day long, but you can't truck if you ain't got no diesel fuel. I don't know what to tell folks. You know, sure as look like we got some trying times coming. I'm fixing to get off from I-40 on the 491, New Mexico 491 or US 491 here in Gallup, New Mexico, and go north going to Kent or Seattle. But I don't know, people. The great big mighty man in charge of this country has more or less, I won't say he flipped the middle finger at society, but because I don't think he's that competent, but I think he's got, let's give an analyzation. You know, when you go to the circus, a little car goes round and round and round, and it stops in about 9 or 10 individuals get out of the car. I can't describe them individuals because it would get a strike on it. And I know it is YouTube stuff, so I'm trying to abide the rules. But you know, when they get out with their little red noses, y'all know who I'm talking about. That's what we got going on up there in the highest office in this country. It's supposed to be the most powerful man in the world, and he shits in the diaper. Just saying. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but still. Fact being, he can't. He can't tell which way the wind's blowing. Most places from the gale. Now off that subject, and let's go back to this shortage thing. Prep, folks. Prep is all I can tell you. You got your stimmy money. Prep. Prep. up through this beautiful country. And make my way on up to Kent, or toward Kent. But this has been Georgia Bean Prepper. Just a little morning conversation over a cup of coffee. Letting y'all know what's going on out here on the road. They're running out of diesel fuel to block from the refinery. Things ain't looking too good. Y'all have a blessed day, and remember, only you can prep for you. Nobody else can do it.